I parked my old 2010 Toyota Camry between my cousin Marcus Ferrari and my sister Victoria's shiny Mercedes. I already knew how this family dinner would go. The Thompson family dinner wasn't really about family. It was more like a contest to show off how rich everyone was. And I was always seen as the loser. I straightened my plain black dress. I had bought it from a regular store, not custom-made like Victoria's clothes. I grabbed the wine I brought with me, a $2,000 bottle of fancy Chateau Lafite Rothschild wine. But no one would care. They had already made up their minds about me the moment they saw my car. "Julia," my mom called from across the big driveway in front of her huge house. "You're late." Then she added, "And you're still driving that car." I forced a smile. "Hello, Mother." Inside, the usual people were already there. Victoria showing off her new diamond bracelet to our cousin Emma, Marcus bragging loudly about how well his hedge fund was doing, and Patricia quietly judging everyone's life while sipping expensive champagne. "Jules," Marcus called out using the nickname I hated. "Still working that little startup job?" If only they knew. My startup was actually my company, Thompson Tech Solutions, worth $4.2 billion. But they didn't need to know that yet. "Your car still running okay?" Victoria asked with fake concern. "I know a car dealer if you're finally ready to upgrade. Though, you might want to check your credit score first." I set my wine bottle on the kitchen counter, watching as my mom quickly replaced it with a bottle from her own collection. My $2,000 wine would probably end up in her cooking pot. "Julia's just practical," my mom said politely. "Not everyone needs fancy things to be happy." The way she said practical made it sound like a disease. I checked my phone. Just as I thought. My company's stock had gone up another 15% today after we bought another business. A deal that would shock my whole family was almost done. "Did you hear about Victoria's promotion?" my dad added. "She's now junior VP at Morgan Stanley. And Marcus just closed a $50 million deal for his fund." "That's great," I said, sitting at the huge dining table. "Congrats," Emma said, leaning forward. Her designer dress probably cost more than they thought I made in a year. "Julia, I know a really good financial advisor. You should start planning for your future." "My future?" I smiled to myself, thinking about the meeting I had this morning with my board of directors. We had just bought our biggest competitor for $3.1 billion. A deal I had planned myself while my family still thought I worked a small-time tech job. "Thanks, Emma. I'll think about it." Dinner went as expected. Victoria talked about her trip to the Maldives. Marcus bragged about his new vacation home in Aspen. My mom kept guiding the conversation to make sure everyone's success was mentioned, except for mine. "Julia's doing her best," she'd say if anyone asked about me. "She's always been different. Different because I chose to build my own company from nothing. Because I lived simply while secretly growing a billion-dollar business. Because I didn't need to prove myself with expensive clothes or fancy cars." "At least tell me you're dating someone successful," Aunt Patricia said. "You're not getting any younger, dear." I thought of Daniel, the brilliant engineer I'd been seeing for 6 months. He was worth over $200 million from his own tech business. But like me, he preferred staying low-key. "Just focusing on work right now," I replied. Victoria rolled her eyes. "Of course you are. Though, what's that company called again?" "Thompson Tech Solutions," I said quietly. "Never heard of it," Marcus said. "Probably one of those small startups that'll disappear in a year." If he ever read the news, he'd know my company was leading in artificial intelligence and cloud computing. We'd been in Forbes 3 times this year alone. "Speaking of work," Victoria raised her voice. "Guess who just got approved for the Morgan Stanley Executive Car Program?" "I'm thinking Bentley or Rolls-Royce." "Go with the Bentley," Emma said. "Julia, why'd you pick that Toyota? Was it for the good safety rating?" They laughed and I let them. Let them believe I drove my car because I couldn't afford anything better. Let them think I wasn't successful, while I was actually building an empire. "The Camry is reliable," I said simply. "Oh honey," my mom sighed. "You know your dad and I could help you with the down payment for something more suitable for a Thompson." I took a sip of wine, thinking about the 3 houses I fully owned, including a beachfront one in Malibu worth more than all their cars combined. "I'm fine, Mother." "Are you though?" Victoria asked. "Look at your car, your clothes, your whole situation. Don't you want more from life?" I thought of my company's $4.2 billion value, the thousands of employees working for me, The world-changing technology we were creating. I just smiled. They'd find out soon enough. I'm happy with my choices, I said. Marcus laughed into his wine glass. Happy with being average. Classic Jules. Just then my phone buzzed. It was my assistant Angela. She never called during family dinners unless it was really important. Excuse me, I said standing up. Julia, really? My mom frowned. It's rude to take calls at dinner. I walked away from the table anyway, feeling everyone's eyes on me. Angela, what's wrong? I asked. Sorry to bother you, Miss Thompson, but there's a problem with the jet. The maintenance team in Dubai needs your approval for some upgrades before your flight to Singapore next week. I noticed Victoria trying to listen in. The jet, she whispered to Emma. Must be for her company's deliveries or something. If only they knew, the jet was my private Gulfstream G650. Tell them to go ahead with the upgrades, I said loudly, watching their faces change from smug to confused. And make sure the pilot files the flight plan for Singapore with a stop in Tokyo. I have that meeting with our Japanese investors. The table went completely quiet. Even Marcus stopped bragging. Oh, and one more thing, Angela continued. Mr. Chin from the board wants to confirm if you'll be at tomorrow's press conference about the acquisition. Yes, I'll be there. Make sure the PR team is ready with the statement about our $3.1 billion deal to buy Maxtech Industries. I heard a wine glass smash. Victoria had dropped hers, spilling red wine all over her expensive dress. Anything else, Angela? I asked. Just one thing. Forbes wants to update your net worth for the 40 under 40 foot list. Should I give them the current number or wait until after the deal is public? I turned back toward the table, meeting their shocked faces. Let's wait. The stock price should go up after today's news, I said. I hung up and walked back to my seat. No one spoke. My mom's fork was frozen halfway to her mouth. Marcus's smug smile was gone. Emma was frantically searching for Thompson Tech Solutions on her phone. Julia, my dad finally said, what was that about a jet? I took a slow sip of wine, enjoying the moment I'd been waiting for. Oh, didn't I mention? I'll need to leave dinner early. I have a flight to catch. The silence at the table was so heavy it felt like it could break glass. Victoria sat there, her ruined dress completely forgotten. You're lying, she said, her voice sharp. This is some kind of joke. I pulled out my phone and opened the Bloomberg app. It showed, Thompson Tech Solutions. Market value, $4.2 billion. CO, Julia Thompson. I slid the phone across the table. Check for yourself. Marcus grabbed the phone, his hands shaking. This can't be right. You're nobody. You drive a Camry. I choose to drive that car, I replied calmly. I don't need fancy cars to prove my success. Emma kept searching on her phone. Her eyes widened. Oh my God, she whispered. She's telling the truth. Julia's on Forbes 30 under 30, and CNBC. There are articles everywhere. My mother's face turned pale. But, why didn't you tell us? All these years. Would it have changed anything? I asked. I thought of all the family dinners where they ignored me, talked over me, made me feel like a failure. You never asked what I actually did. You were too busy bragging about Victoria's basic banking job or Marcus' tiny hedge fund. Tiny. Marcus snapped. I manage $50 million. I laughed. That's cute. I approved over $100 million in bonuses last quarter. My father cleared his throat, finally paying attention. Sweetheart, maybe we should talk about investing, now that we know how well you're doing. No, I said firmly. I'm not your sweetheart anymore. That ended the day you called me an embarrassment for starting my own company instead of working at Morgan Stanley like Victoria. Victoria looked away, remembering that day. She had smirked back then while Dad told me how I was ruining the family name. But that's what family is for, my mom argued weakly. We help each other. Really? I raised an eyebrow. Like when you gave Victoria money for her Mercedes but told me to be responsible with my finances. Or when you invested in Marcus' little fund but called my business plan unrealistic? Aunt Patricia leaned in, never missing an opportunity. Darling, now that you're successful, you simply must join the country club. I'll recommend you myself. The same club that rejected me last year because my car wasn't appropriate? I smiled coldly. I bought the club last month. The members just don't know yet. Marcus slammed his wine glass onto the table. My phone buzzed. It was a text from my pilot. Who is Daniel? Want me to bring the Aston Martin to pick you up instead of the usual cars? I texted back. No. Stick to the plan. The Camry is perfect for tonight. Julia. Victoria's voice suddenly turned sweet, that fake sweetness I knew well. I've been thinking about leaving Morgan Stanley. Maybe I could work for your company. You mean the little startup that'll be gone in a year? I quoted Marcus' earlier insult. We're fully staffed. Emma quickly chimed in. I've always been interested in tech. Really? I asked. Name one coding language. She went silent, her confidence gone. My mom still looked confused. But your clothes, your car, your apartment are all choices, I finished. I could buy this house with a day's income. I can have any car I want. But I don't show success with designer labels or fancy cars. My father leaned forward, all business now. How much are you worth? I stood, smoothing my simple black dress. More than everyone at this table combined. Many times over. My phone buzzed again. It was Angela. Car's ready, Miss Thompson. The board in Singapore is waiting for your meeting. Thanks, Angela. I'm leaving now. I looked at my stunned family. This has been eye-opening. But I have a company to run. Wait. Victoria called, panic in her voice. You can't just tell us all this and leave. Why not? You've been judging me for years. I picked up my plain leather bag, worth more than Victoria's flashy designer purse. Oh, and mother, I added, that wine you stuck on the cooking shelf? It's worth more than Marcus' monthly fund returns. As I walked to the door, my father called after me, Julia, be reasonable. We're family. We should talk about this arrangement. I turned one last time. You had years to talk when I needed your support. I don't need anything from you now. But we're blood, my mother begged. I smiled politely. That never seemed to matter before. And with that I walked out the door. Being family doesn't excuse bad behavior, I said. You all made your choices about how to treat me. Now you have to live with them. Outside, my old reliable Camry waited for me. Behind me, I heard the chaos start. Victoria shouting, Marcus arguing, Emma trying to add me on LinkedIn right from her phone. As I drove away, my mother ran after me into the driveway. Julia, please. We can start over. I didn't stop. The next morning, the messages started pouring in. First the text. Victoria, hey sis. Remember how I helped you with your college applications? Good times. Let's grab lunch. Marcus, Jules, I've got some amazing investments for you. Call me. Emma, LinkedIn says your company is hiring. Coffee soon? Then came the emails. Mother. Darling, I've been thinking we should spend more time together and make happy memories. Father. Princess, let's talk about how to bring your success into the family's legacy. I forwarded them all to my assistant with one instruction. Block them all. At the press conference about my company buying Max Tech, a reporter asked why I lived so simply despite being so rich. Success isn't about what you own, I said. It's about what you build. The story blew up. Secret tech billionaire. The CEO who drives a Camry. Victoria saw the news and tried a new approach. I always knew you were special, sis. Remember how I let you borrow my clothes? I remembered. I also remembered how she told everyone I was too poor to afford my own. Marcus somehow got my board members' emails and tried to pitch his fund to them. They sent his proposal straight to spam. My mom suddenly joined every charity she could, always mentioning her successful tech CEO daughter at events. My dad tried using my success to impress his business friends, claiming he always supported Julia's dreams. His friends who knew the truth just smiled and nodded. A month later, I got an invitation to the family's fancy charity party. The note read, Special guest of honor, Julia Thompson, tech visionary. I sent back a short reply. Can't come. I'll be in Singapore. Truth was, I stayed in town working from my penthouse office while they posed for photos and pretended they'd always believed in me. Victoria even gave an interview saying she inspired my success. Marcus bragged to everyone about how close we are. The truth? The only thing they inspired was my drive to succeed without them. Last week, Victoria lost her job at Morgan Stanley. She sent me her resume with a note. Family first, right? Marcus Fund lost its biggest investor. He tried to book a meeting with my investment team. Emma's husband's business failed. She started posting cheesy quotes about successful family connections on LinkedIn. I ignored them all. I focused on what matters. Running my company, creating jobs, building new technology. My Camry still sits in the parking lot, surrounded by Maseratis and Bentleys. My employees love it. It's become a symbol of our company. Success without showing off. Yesterday I overheard two junior developers talking. Is it true she's a billionaire who drives a Toyota? Yeah, and she wears normal clothes and lives in a regular apartment. But why? She could have anything. Because she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. They get it. My family never did. This morning I got another dinner invitation from my mom. The note said she finally learned how to store fine wine properly. I sent back the same expensive bottle she had once stuck on the cooking shelf. A $2,000 Chateau Lafite Rothschild, with a note. For your cooking shelf. I hear it adds great flavor to rejection letters. Sometimes success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the best revenge isn't showing off what they missed. It's letting them see it from far away, knowing they can never catch up. As for me, I'm driving my Camry to a board meeting. We're planning a $5 billion expansion. I think I'll send my family a press release about it. After all, that's how they always preferred to hear about my life.